When you think of Leeds United, you think of a championship club that is a massive bottle job. Multiple years now, they have always seemed to bottle it, whether it be bottling safety from the Premier League or bottling promotion, trying to get back up to the Premier League, and they're almost doing the same here this season. They spent a good while. They were at one point 12 points ahead at the top of the championship table this season. They now, technically in real life, at the date of recording this on the 8th of April, sit in third in a playoff spot, no longer an automatic promotion spot. However, on FC 25 with the live start points, we do not have that game against Luton Town yet where they actually got knocked down into the playoffs, so they are technically still sitting in automatic promotion spots at the moment, sitting in second. But Leeds United, they are a realistically, they are a zero-time Premier League winner. They have won the first division, aka the Premier League, 3 times. In fact, they actually won the last ever first division title before it was renamed and repurposed into the Premier League in 1991 and 1992. So they have won the first division, aka the Premier League, 3 times. Twice under manager Don Revie, where their most successful kind of stint came from in their lifeline in there. They then went ahead and got relegated in 2004, where then they got relegated down to League One in 2007, and it wasn't long until they got back up in the championship. But after being outside of the Premier League for 16 years, they got promoted back up to the Premier League under Bielsa in 2020, where they spent their first season in the Premier League. They finished 9th. They actually did quite well in the Premier League. And then they barely survived relegation the season after that. And then the season after that, they got relegated down to a championship, where they nearly got promoted back up to the Premier League. But again, finishing in third and not winning the playoffs, they now sit in third, aka second here now today, where we are going to go ahead and jump in here and using live start points, trying to get them up to the Premier League with the 7 games that they have left, including the Luton game that we're going to try and rework and actually win the game and not draw the game to a relegation and a struggling side, Luton Town. So let's go and jump into Leeds United, get them up to the Premier League, and keep them in the Premier League and get them some European trophies. And so here is the starting lineup for Leeds United in the start of here. Perot, Aronson, Solomon, Tanaka, Grove, James, Bogle, Ampadu, Rodon, Firpo, and the worst keeper probably in all of English football, Meslier. He is god-awful. He is priority number 1 when we get into that January or the winter window, or the summer window at the start of next season. But we do have 7 games left to go. We are currently sitting in second. We have Luton, Middlesbrough, Preston North End, Oxford, Stoke City, Bristol City, and then we end it off against Plymouth. So let's go and see if we can go ahead and get promoted up to the Premier League. And so with a win against Luton, a win against Middlesbrough, a win against Preston, our only loss against Oxford United, Stoke City, we go and pick up a 3-0 win, a 3-2 win against Bristol City, a 2-0 win on the final game day against Plymouth Argyle. That sees us sitting in second, finishing the season in that automatic promotion spot, where Burnley go ahead and fall off, and Sheffield United are going to go ahead and win the league. We finish in second. We are promoted back up to the Premier League. It's now about time to try and keep us alive in that Premier League. The question is, using live start points, do they do improvements? No. Okay, so you can see that nobody's really +1, +2. There's a couple guys that are just through the actual simulation of the last month or so here, but that is there. What you do have is the actual game stats, or at least somewhat close to the realistic game stats that they had in real life. So you can see here, Perot ended up with 22 goals in all 46 games. He played every single game in the championship. Daniel James had 12 goals. Solomon, who's on loan from Tottenham, had 11 goals and 10 assists. Brendan Aronson had 11 goals and 4 assists. So on to technically Season 2, where we are in the Premier League, and hopefully we have some promotion money to spend, plus the additional, obviously, 23 that we haven't spent yet at all. So let's go ahead and get into Season 2 here. The first signing we make is by bringing in Aaron Ramsdale. We needed a goalkeeper. Southampton just got relegated down to the championship, so it only makes sense now. I know Aaron Ramsdale is a relegation fodder player. In fact, the only club he hasn't been a part of with the relegation side is Arsenal. But there it is. He is 80 overall. We can get him for relatively cheap. 18.5 million we got for him. He comes into the squad. He'll be our new #1 goalkeeper, at least for a short-term while until we maybe get a free agent that is definitely bigger than him. We have 3 objectives for this rebuild. We want to win every single domestic competition, including the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the Premier League. And then, of course, we obviously want to win the Champions League. So the rebuild does not end until we technically win all 4. It doesn't have to be in that or in the same season, but if it is, it is. But Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League. The second player we go ahead and bring in is Romeo Lavia from Chelsea. We go ahead and snatch him up for 23.9 million. 21 years of age, 79 overall, center defensive midfielder. He's going to be part of this team for probably the whole entire rebuild. Welcome to Leeds United. The third player we add to the squad is Kushanov, coming over from Manchester City for a flat rate of 20 million. Welcome to Leeds United. We have Perot at striker, Brendan Aronson at cam, Ramazzini and James on the wing still. Lavia and Tanaka lead the midfield. Firpo is joined alongside Ampadu and Christensen, who's back from loan now at right back, in the addition of Kusanov. And then Aaron Ramsdale leads in between the sticks as our #1 goalkeeper. Let's go ahead and jump all the way to January to see whether or not we are fighting relegation or not once I do contracts. And halfway through the season, we are currently sitting 13th in the league. We are 7 points clear off of the relegation zone, which is completely fine. It's not as safe as I want to be, but it is fine for now. Arsenal is currently leading the line there. The FA Cup, we place off against Chelsea in the first round, so that is going to be no domestic cups for us this season. As far as the Carabao Cup, I actually don't know when we got knocked out. We went ahead and beat Blackburn, so there's that. We at least got to round 4, or round 3, I should say, in which we lost to Burnley, who's down in the championship. So we lost the championship side, Burnley, unfortunately, in which then Burnley went ahead and then lost to Manchester City. Actually, no, Burnley beat Manchester City. That's interesting. They did lose to Liverpool, though, so they did get ran into the gauntlet, and they did eventually lose and get knocked out. Well, then, I don't see any reason to sign anybody else, so I will see y'all in January. I'll see y'all at the end of the season, where hopefully we are still in the Premier League. And we go ahead and finish the season ahead of Manchester United, which is quite ironic, to be completely honest. We go ahead and finish above them. We finished 13th in our first season back in the Premier League in our quest to stay in there. Manchester City go ahead and win the league, though. Arsenal bottled it again. Aston Villa finishing in 3rd. Liverpool finishing in 4th. This top 4 could be the top 4 of this season IRL as well. Obviously not in the order, because it'll be Liverpool who wins the league, and then Arsenal in 2nd, then Man City, then Aston Villa. But this could be the top 4 that does finishes in there, at least the teams in there. Relegated is West Brom, who got promoted with us, AFC Bournemouth, and then Sheffield United. So 2 of the 3 clubs that got promoted have been yo-yoed back down to the championship. Also, something that did happen is Nottingham Forest got relegated, but using the live start points all the way down to March 30th, they would be top 4, top 5. So I don't know what's happened to that. It's a weird glitch or something, a weird bug that's happened that caused Nottingham Forest to get impossibly relegated. I don't think there's a physical way that they can get relegated in real life from 30th of March. So that is just something that is a bug within this game in itself. João Perot had 23 goals in his first season. There's a reason why I haven't sold him, or even not really sold him, but replaced him, because I think he can still grow and be a decent part of this team. Somebody who I do want to improve, though, is on the wings with Ramazzini and Daniel James. I just don't think they're going to have it cut up for them. Romeo Lavia is up up to 80 overall. Tanaka's up to 77. Nanto's up to 29. He's up to 75 at 22. Kushanov is up to 79. Brendan Aaronson's up to 75. Is he going to have a realistic long-term stint in the Premier League? Who knows? But we'll go on to Season 3, where hopefully we'll have some money and maybe we can start making some real efforts in some of these domestic competitions like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. It is all about taking up the next big things here, taking up that massive step. Ethan Nwaneri is coming into the squad from Arsenal for 35 million. Pretty much a whole entire transfer budget of this season is spent on Ethan Nwaneri. No, we will not use him as a right winger or a right mid. He'll be our cam. We are going to play him as a cam in here, coming in at 79 overall from Arsenal. Welcome to Leeds United. We say hello to a brand new striker, Costa Lewis, coming in from Olympiacos for 7 million. He joins Leeds United, 74 overall. He is a higher prospect type of player. There is a possibility that we go ahead and loan him out this season and see him grow, because I think Perot is still our new number one, or number one striker. In halfway Season 2, not much improvement in terms of our league position as we currently sit 12th in the league. Arsenal, who were at this point last season fighting for a fighting for a title spot, I should say. They now sit mid-table. Manchester City are also struggling. Chelsea are stepping up massively, sitting in first. Aston Villa are tied on points with them. Liverpool being only 1 point behind them. Wolves are currently sitting in the top 4, tied on points with Tottenham. At the bottom, we have Fulham, Nottingham Forest, who's back up in the Premier League alongside Southampton. Fulham are struggling. Who got promoted? Was it? Oh, it was Burnley. So Burnley finally did get the promotion. So it was Burnley, Southampton, and Nottingham Forest who got promoted this season. So we'll see who goes ahead and gets relegated. FA Cup, our round 3 fixture is against Sheffield Wednesday. So we have a relatively decent chance of making a decent run in there. Carabao Cup, we have gotten knocked out somewhere. Actually, no, we're not knocked out. I'm completely dumb. I forgot. Yeah, we're in the semifinals of that. We are taking on Arsenal in the semifinals. That Crew Alexandria are also in the semifinals on, but they are more than likely going to get absolutely pummeled by Manchester City. Our route to the semifinals looked like this, though. We took down QPR in round 3. In round 4, we took down Sunderland 2-0. In the quarterfinals, we took down Chelsea. And now we have the other side of London taking on Arsenal. So we'll go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get through that. And then we'll see the rest of the season. But as far as our players go, we're looking good-ish. We could be better, probably. Maybe should be better. But hey-ho, it's the way of the road. The first leg of the semifinal of the Carabao Cup against Arsenal was a 1-1 draw. That gives us hope. We lost 4-2 in the second leg of the Carabao Cup, losing 5-3 on aggregate. So we made it to semifinals, but we go ahead and get knocked out of there. So I will see y'all now at the end of the season, where hopefully nothing really, just mid to upper table. That's our aim. And maybe a deep run in the FA Cup here. And never mind, we are out against Brentford in round 4. In another season of now what we're going to call mediocrity here, we finish in 13th. Top of the table is Tottenham. That's how you know this whole season is skewered. Tottenham are winning a Premier League. Southampton are getting relegated alongside Brentford and Fulham. So Nottingham Forest and Burnley survived the yo-yo. Nottingham Forest barely surviving the yo-yo. And we say goodbye to Fulham for the first time in a while. I feel like I haven't seen Fulham in a championship in a while. Well then, let's go and see our top goal scorers. Top goal scorers is Perot, who's now up to 80 overall with 21 goals. Nanto had 16. And Nwaneri had 11. Ramazzini, he is our upgrade path for sure with 4 goals. The question is, Costello is up to 76 as well, but I don't think he's going to ever outdo Perot unless Perot absolutely hits a brick wall. Aaron Ramsdale, might be time for him to say goodbye and for us to bite the dust on him. Let's go and get to Season 3, where hopefully we can get some more action. And our first player that we are going to go ahead and bring into this season is going to be Blake Ford, a youth-generated player from Manchester United for 29 million, a left midfielder, 79 overall. Welcome to Leeds United. Welcome to staying in the Premier League. And in the quest to increase on that left-hand side and improve on that left-hand side, we needed a better left back. So we go ahead and spend the rest of our transfer budget on Renato Viega. He comes into the squad to replace Junior Firpo. Welcome to Leeds United. And maybe we can push a top half of the table. Maybe get a kind of a cup run going in one of these cups. We finished 7th in the Premier League at the end of the season, only missing out on the 6th spot by 4 points, I should say. Missing out on top 4 by 12 points, so a big gap in that. Manchester United finishing in 4th, going down as Leicester, Sunderland, and Watford. Top goal scorer is Perot. He scores 24 more goals, a massive difference in between top goal scorer and second. That's insane. He's up +3. Kosteles goes +1 as well, so I don't see anywhere starting for Perot, in all honesty. Let's go on to season. What season is this going to be? Season 4, season 5, one of the two? We might have Conference League football, thinking about that. And we go ahead and start this season by bringing in some players here for our first European season. Obviously, we are just in the Conference League, so it's the third best one. It's the worst one of the lot that you want to be in, but it's a pathway into Europa League if we are to win it. So hey ho, we'll take it by a grain with anything we can do. We started with a transfer budget around 70-ish million. We went ahead and bring in Adam Cook, a right back from Manchester United, 80 overall. He'll be our new number right back, replacing Christensen. We go ahead and bring in Dong Sing Choi from a free agent. He will go ahead and be a backup left winger for our left midfielder, or he could possibly even start through simulation if anything is possible. We bring in Morita from the free agents. He will be converted into a CDM, currently 81 overall. He will be our new pair alongside our center defensive mid. We go ahead and bring in Senny Lemons, an 83 rated goalkeeper. We bring him on a loan. It is a loan to buy. I might just trigger that loan to buy early to make sure he stays the whole season. He is 83 overall. Ramsdale is 81 in 30, so he's deteriorating. The other goalkeeper, Gazinga, that we have is 36 years of age and 81 overall as well. So he's going to rapidly deteriorate, and by January he might be into the mid 70s in all honesty. We go ahead and sell Groyuv to Leganés for 7.5 million. We sell Ramazzini to Arsenal for 18.1 million. And then with me not knowing that I bought in Dong Sing Choi for a free agent, I bought in Jovanovic for 16.5 million, who's a left midfielder, left winger. I have gonna go ahead and convert him to a right midfielder. We don't have a backup right midfielder, so you know what, Jovanovic will be a backup right midfielder as well. And so that leaves the team looking like this. We still have Perot at striker. How much more can he grow? We'll find out at this season. He is getting up there in age. We have Ethan Waneri at cam. We have Nanto. Expect a good season out of him. We have Cook at right back. Ampadu, who's our next kind of improvement target point, if anything. And then we have Kusanov, Viega. Morata drops to 79 through just editing him through the squad, through the track or whatever, through the live editor, so he drops down rating, but he'll quickly get that back up surely. Lavia is 83, Ford is 80, and then on the bench, it's not the most complete bench, but it's a good enough bench to at least compete for a little bit. I will see y'all at the end of January to see whether or not we at least make it through the Conference League. And a little bit after halfway, I should say, because we skipped the entire month of January. We sit 8th in the Premier League. We are roughly 9 to 10 points off of Arsenal, who currently sit in that 4th spot. Manchester City are winning the league. We are 20 points off of that, which is absurd. We are still in the FA Cup. We have a game here against Burnley. That's actually the next game up. How are we in the Carabao Cup? We're in the final. Oh, all right. Well, we are in the final of the Carabao Cup. We go ahead and take down Manchester City 4-3 on aggregate. A 2-0 win on the second leg, which must happen in January, because usually, okay, well, that's why I didn't think it was actually in the Carabao Cup, because usually the second leg of the semifinal will be early February, where we are at now, so I guess that's happened. In the Conference League, we finished 3rd in that group, so we go ahead and get into the automatic promotion spots, so we get to skip out on the playoff spot, but some tough teams in here. Lyon and Atalanta are both the teams, but Braga winning all 6 out of 6, which is good enough for them. Is there any interesting teams in the 24? The answer is no. So we should be able to beat all teams from 9th to 24. The only 2 teams that we should really struggle against is the other guys. We are going to go ahead and jump to the final of this Carabao Cup just to see if we can win that and maybe pick up our first bit of silverware in this rebuild. And so in the meantime of simming, we go ahead and sim through the round of 16 against Leeds United, in which we win 6-4 on aggregate. Both games with 3-2 wins, which is a little shaky in the ends there. But let's see if this team can win the Carabao Cup and pick off a first trophy. Morata is not growing. Is he deteriorating even more? He's 77. Well, that's interesting. What I will say, though, is Perdo is growing at least. Let's go and jump into a quick sim here, and we lose 4-2 to Aston Villa, so we don't get to pick up our first Carabao Cup trophy. So that is still going to go ahead and get away from us. Are we still in the FA Cup, though? Is that the question? Did we lose to Burnley? We did lose to Burnley. Okay, well, that is great. Well, I'll see y'all at the end of the season because, to be completely honest, whether or not we win the Conference League, oh, wow. I won't see y'all because I'll see y'all against Atalanta. Never mind. And so first leg against Atalanta, simming it through the calendar. We go ahead and win 2-1 in the first leg. Okay, well, there's a chance. It's not that great of a chance, but there is a chance here. We'll go ahead and just kind of quick sim through the second leg here as well. Second leg here against Atalanta, a 2-1 win. Can we at least... Oh, my lord, we win 3-1, or is that just a 1-0 win? That might have just been a 1-0 win. It was a 1-0 win. We are into the semifinals of the Conference League. We might actually win the damn thing. I did not expect us to get past Atalanta. I expected us to actually kind of get pummeled. But hey-ho, we'll take it, and we beat Liverpool 1-0. And so first leg here against Valencia. This could be where the road ends for us in all honesty. But it's looking like it's not because a man of the match popped up there. A 2-1 win in the first leg here against Valencia. Let's see what we can do in the second leg. I hope we're doing good in the league. It doesn't really feel like we're doing good in the league. But we're picking up 1-0 wins. We did just lose to Newcastle though. Oh, and I just completely, I forgot I actually went past it. And, well, we won 2-1. We're now in the final of the Conference League. So let's go get to that game against Braga, the team that actually went undefeated in the entirety of the league phase. And I'm obviously assuming they went undefeated in the rest of the tournament. So let's see if we can shut the best team in the Conference League down and get at least an automatic ticket to the Europa League. And before we play the final, we'll go ahead and see how we finished in the league to see the importance of this game. It is very important. We finished 9th in the Premier League, so we will not get European football if we fail to win the Conference League. Manchester City go ahead and run away with the league. Manchester United are still struggling. Southampton, Fulham, and Crystal Palace are down to the championship for next season. An all-important game here against Braga. And so the final here, everybody is fit. Morata is struggling. He is now down to 76 overall. What's his age? How old is Morata? His contract is expiring. He's only on a 1-year deal. He's 34. Oh. Why did I sign him? That was a yesterday signing for my brain. Like, I signed him yesterday in real time, but obviously I started. Okay, well, that was dumb of me. Do I have somebody? Okay, why can I stop doing this? Well, thankfully we still have Tanaka in this team, so he'll start in today's game. Let's see if we can go ahead and get the win here against SC Braga to get Conference League football, not in Conference League, Europa League football. And Ethan Winery, the Arsenal wonder kid, scores the sole goal in a 1-0 win for Leeds United. We are in the Europa League for next season. Thank the Lord for that. We can continue improving, hopefully get up into Champions League football via the season, by the Premier League. But we go ahead and get a little trophy celebration, a parade celebration. I guess that's one trophy down. Maybe we'll have to do it through Conference League, Europa League, and then Champions League. Maybe we should kind of shift our objectives there. But Perdo with another fantastic season. 32 goals out of him. He's up to 85 overall. Mr. Ford had 16 goals. Ethan Waneri had 12 goals and the most important goal of the season in that final. And then Wilfred Nanto, who's up to 80 overall, had 11 goals. Jovanovic, 76 overall, 9 goals. Well, I guess we got to look for another midfielder. I did not think Marita was 34 years of age or 33 years of age. I don't know why I signed him, but we signed him, and now we had to pay for it for a little bit, and now we shall go. In fact, he probably didn't play that much. Tanaka probably played for him mostly. And we kick our Europa League season off by bringing back a player that once played at Leeds United, Archie Gray. Welcome back to Leeds United. Coming in, you will pair nicely alongside Lavia in that midfield duoship. Welcome to the club for 40 million. 35 million, I should say. 35 million for him. And we go ahead and bring in Binyo Bariashi from Chelsea for 20 million. His contract is running out, so we kind of have to bring him in. 82 overall center back. He will replace Ampadu in that starting lineup. Left-footed as well. Welcome to the club. The starting 11 is near perfect. It's just our bench that's a little lackluster now. And to be completely honest, our bench actually isn't as bad as I thought it was. It's actually quite decent. We have Costa Luz, who's 80 overall. We have Choi, who's 80 overall. We have free agent Gomez, who I just signed on a free at 82 overall. He will probably actually replace Nato in that starting lineup just out of curiosity, or just out of just pure overall boost in how the calendar works and stuff like that. We have Gelhart, who's kind of the weak link alongside Giabi and honestly Tanaka. But Christensen's a decent backup right back. Ampadu is going to be a good enough backup center back. Ramsdale, who's still 82 overall at 31 years old, at least has a couple of years left of him just sitting on the bench because Lehman's is in there. And our starting lineup here is actually quite incredible, and this to definitely fight for top 4, if not top 5, and at least hopefully fight for the Europa League, which is the main priority of the season, is to try and win the Europa League. Whether or not if I bring anybody else in, I probably won't show y'all until the end of January, but the chances are we won't bring anybody else in, so I will see y'all at the end of January. We have a rundown to get through here midway through this season. We currently sit 8th in the Premier League. We are 5 points off top 4, so that's at least manageable. We're actually only 8 points, or 7 points off, I should say, against Manchester City. Liverpool are struggling, and Manchester United are continuing to struggle in the league play. They are actually only 5 points off safety. In the FA Cup, we have a round 4 fixture against Crystal Palace. In the Carabao Cup, we have the second leg here against Middlesbrough in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, so we'll get at least another second effort of that. In the Europa League, we get to skip out on the playoffs because we finished first in the league phase. So with 22 points, we are winning first in that position. We skip the league phase, we go straight into the round of 16. More importantly, let's say we can somehow beat Middlesbrough right here. So Middlesbrough in the cup for the Carabao. So we can get back-to-back Wembley finals for the Carabao Cup and trying to win that tournament. As Manchester City go ahead and go back up top of the league and get 3 points off of us. Middlesbrough 3-3 on aggregate, and it's looking like Middlesbrough are going to win via penalties. In all honesty, it looks exactly like that. So yes, they win on penalties. I will see y'all in March for the Europa League. We get PAOK in the Europa League round of 16. We should be able to get through this with absolute ease, and we're not. They get man of the match. They draw 1-1 in the first leg. Wow. In the second leg here against PAOK, can we at least get past them? The answer is possibly yes, and we do a 3-0 win on the second leg, a 4 win on aggregate. We're into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, where we'll be taking on Latium, aka Lazio. First leg here against Lazio in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We pick up a man of the match, which is a great sign, but it's a 2-2 draw, so it's not that great of a sign. But second leg is upcoming next. Second leg here against Leeds United. I said I'm covering that, and then I looked to my screen recording, and I seen the social media pic. We went 3-2, 5-4 on aggregate. We are into the semifinals where we are taking on Tottenham, aka Totten shit. And so semifinal of the Europa League here against Tottenham. Tottenham pick up man of the match, a 3-1 loss. That's a heavy, heavy defeat. Need a massive second leg to overcome that. But I believe we can do it. Second leg here against Leeds United. We win 5-4 on that. What is that? A 4-1 win? It is a 4-1 win. We're in the final of the Europa League. How the hell has that happened? How do we overcome them that crazy? And how's Coventry in the Premier League as well? I just seen that. What is going on? And with one game left to go in the Premier League, where we place off against Coventry City, we are going to have a chance to get into the top 4 through the league in itself. It won't matter though if we could actually win the league as well. We are only 2 points behind Manchester City. This is the tightest title race ever, and it's actually going to look like Chelsea, of all teams, could win the league. They have 2 games to go in this season. As far as the Carabao Cup, that belonged to Chelsea. That's actually FA Cup. FA Cup belonged to Chelsea. The Carabao Cup belongs to Middlesbrough. So we lost to Middlesbrough, and they win the Carabao Cup. They will be in the Conference League next year as well, and I think they're in the Championship. But what matters most here is the Europa League final. We go ahead and quick sim it, and hopefully pick up. Oh my lord, we lose the Europa League final. We lose the Europa League final. And with that win against Coventry City, we sit 4th in the league. Tottenham go from 2nd to 5th. Manchester City go ahead and win the league off a goal difference. Chelsea coming in 2nd. Arsenal in 3rd. Leeds United in 4th. Liverpool in 7th. Where did Manchester United come? Manchester United survived relegation by 8 points, finishing in 16th. Coventry straight back down to the Championship. Luton Town and Leicester City will follow along, where Burnley is fighting for relegation for the 2nd season but survive by 1 single point. Our squad hub, our best players of the season is obviously going to be Perot. 35 goals out of him. How much more can we realistically get out of him? He's 88 overall at the age of 30. He's going to stop going. He's going to start deteriorating sooner rather than later. Ethan Nwaneri will keep going, and he's up to 88 overall, scoring 25 goals. Gomez, who was a free agent right midfielder, he actually didn't play more than Nato. He played 48 games. He played 28 Premier League games. He scored more than Nato, up to 14 goals. Ford had 11 goals. Nato had 9 goals. Archie Gray had 6 goals and 8 assists in his first season at the club. It's Champions League football next season. Let's get to it. And we start our first UCL season by bringing in a left back. We are improving our defense just a little bit more. Alvarado Carreras coming into the squad. I honestly don't know if that's his first name. It just sounds right coming off the tip of my tongue. But 86 overall, coming from Manchester United, a team that has been struggling in these rebuild seasons. We go ahead and rescue him. He's probably the best of the lot. He comes in. It is Alvarado Carreras for 65 million. Welcome to Leeds United, and welcome to Champions League football. And before we get any further deeper into the season, here is our Champions League phase opponents. We started off at home against Bayer Leverkusen. We then go away against Juventus. Another trip to Spain against Athletic Club Bilbao in November. We have Sturm Graz, and then we have Dynamo Kiev at home. We then go away back to Italy to take on AC Milan, aka Milano FC, and then we wrap it up against Lyon and Bayern Munich. That is a pretty tough Champions League phase. I will see y'all on January 1st though, where hopefully we are bare minimum in the playoffs, at least having a chance to get into the Champions League final. We currently sit 6th in the Premier League after getting into January 1st, or February 1st, I should say. We have Arsenal in the FA Cup. As far as the Champions League go, we are in the playoffs, which means we did go ahead and finish in the bottom half, which we finished actually 19th. 3 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses in there. The top 8 that are safe are Manchester City, Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona, Frankfurt, RB Leipzig, and Athletic Club. And just for curiosity, where is Manchester United? They currently sit 12th in the Premier League. Ipswich, Brentford, and Sunderland are 3 teams, I believe, that just got promoted. Actually, no, Crystal Palace got promoted as well. So will be interesting to see there. We do have Benfica, Benfica in the Champions League playoff. It's not an easy playoff fixture, but it's definitely one that I could see us at least getting through in pie as we beat Arsenal 3-2 in the league. Game, Perot's up to 90 overall. Ethan Nwaneri's up to 89. A quick sim here against Benfica, a 1-1 draw. Nwaneri scoring the 70th minute. Second leg here against, I almost said Nottingham Forest, against Benfica here. Hopefully you can get the job done, and we do. Perot in the 80-minute there to get the winner, where Ford scored in the 6th and then Simmelhack scoring in the 13th. A 3-2 win for us, and we move on to the round of 16 of the Champions League. But I just noticed Real Madrid went in the playoffs as well, so we could have got screwed. Now we take on Bayer Leverkusen, where in the league phase we played them in the first game, if y'all remember. We won that game 2-0, so let's see if we can do it again here. A 2-2 draw. They have Cavada in the team. Cook, our right back, scoring a brace on the side of things here. That is interesting to see. A 2-2 draw for us going to that second leg in Germany. Second leg here against Bayer Leverkusen. Can we get the job over the line? A 1-0 win by Gomez in the 94th minute. We are through to the quarterfinals by a skin of our teeth. That is absurd here. PSG are through against Barcelona. AS Monaco knocked off Arsenal. Real Madrid get by the skin of their teeth against RB Leipzig. Chelsea are getting knocked out to Atletico Madrid. Frankfurt are through against Lyon. That's honestly surprising. Inter Milan survive a late scare by Athletic Club. And then Manchester City with a 3-2 win over Bayern Munich. Quarterfinals of the Champions League. Inter Milan are taking on Manchester City. We are taking on Frankfurt. PSG are taking on French side Monaco. And we have a Madrid derby where Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid in the Champions League there. It's the first leg here against Frankfurt. We knocked off one German team. Can we do it again? It's a great start too. So Perot and Ranieri, the two best players of this club, getting a 2-0 win over Frankfurt in the first leg. Second leg here of the Champions League. We're up 2-0 as long as we don't bottle it, which we nearly did. Wow. We quite literally nearly bottled it. It went all the way to penalties, in which we won 4-3 on penalties. Ranieri and Nanto both missing their penalty. How did this, like, what has happened? They started off strong. Okay, that's how you started off there. Scoring in the first minute, putting the pressure on. Andrew Santos equalized in the 33rd. Ranieri equalized in the, or not equalized, but took the lead back in the 47th. And then Listed scored in the 68th. It pushed it to extra time, which went straight to penalties. And then we won 4-3 on penalties. So we survived by the skin of our teeth, but we are in the semifinals of the Champions League alongside Inter Milan, who knock off Manchester City, PSG, who knock off AS Monaco, and then Real Madrid, who go ahead and win the Madrid derby there. If I'm being honest, give me Inter Milan here. In the semifinal, we get Real Madrid, so our run is surely going to end here. First leg, we win 2-1, Mbappe scoring, but then Ranieri and Perot again scoring as well. A 2-1 win at home, but going over to Real Madrid, going to that Bernabeu, it's going to be difficult, but we can hopefully get the job done. Second leg here of the Champions League. 2-1 up. Can we get the job done? We can. Ford scoring 1-0. Perot missing a penalty in the 66th minute. But a 3-1 win against Real Madrid. We are into the final of the Champions League. And before we play the Champions League final against Inter Milan, let's do a season wrap-up for the rest of the lot. We finished 4th in the league, so we will not go ahead and win the league. This will be the last one because I am on a time constraint. We will go ahead and play the Champions League final. The FA Cup goes to Bournemouth. The Carabao Cup belongs to Bournemouth. They do the double domestically. The Europa League final, it belongs to Borussia Dortmund. The Conference League final, it belongs to Sevilla. Some interesting stuff going on here. And just to check out our top goal scorer, is it Perot again? Yes, 28 goals, 91 overall. Ford had 14 goals alongside Ethan Ranieri, who had 14 goals. Champions League final. We are not traveling far, only 52 miles from our home over to Old Trafford. It's Leeds United versus Inter Milan, aka Lombardia FC, fighting for that trophy. There's a tifo of Perot because he is the top goal scorer of this entire rebuild, scoring over probably close to 200 goals in all honesty. He is absolutely sensational. He is going to be the key factor to why this team wins the Champions League. We are going to play it for the first time. David Raya is in net for Inter Milan. That is interesting of the year. Here is Inter Milan's lineup. We have David Raya, Udoji, Reed. Okay, well, why is that so? Okay, Kubarsi, Kamada, Baeba, David Raya, obviously a back five. Kubarsi, Marquinhos, Kamada, Baeba, Fournier, and Roku in the top two strikers. Fournier, I'm assuming, is a regen type of player. We are here taking them on, and hopefully that man can shut these guys down, and we can lift that Champions League trophy in roughly 90 minutes time. Wilfred Nanto, an original Leeds player, into Perot, another original Leeds player. We didn't really change the core of this team. Actually we did, didn't we? Yeah, we have. In fact, I think Perot and Nanto is the only two original players in the starting lineup. Ethan Wineria across into Kusanov. Kusanov header finds the keeper's hands and cleared away. Fournier, a great ball into Kamada. And Kamada now, he had the pass option to a better striking player. Didn't take it, gets saved. Fournier, Victor Roku, and Inter Milan take the lead. They strike first. Ethan Winery, Wilfred Nanto, into Ethan Winery. And now Ethan at the top of the box looks to find Perot. He does find Perot. He'll spin. And Perot to try and level things up here. David Raya denies it and out for another corner here for Leeds United, in which Winery will take. Looking to find Kusanov. He does, straight into Raya's hands. Correa is intercepted. Correa is intercepted into Perot. It's another chance. It's another fantastic save for David Raya, but not really cleared out properly. It's Perot into Archie Gray. First time finish off target. And we'll go halftime down 1-0 here against Inter Milan. Archie Gray, Lavia, Callejas, intercepted from Perot. Perot into Winery. And Ethan Winery now, he spins, he turns. Ethan still going. Ethan still going. It's still Ethan. He's going to look to sweat it for Perot, and Perot will score. It's a 1-1 level game here with 56 minutes off the clock. All to play for, and Perot wants to get the game under the way. If you wanted the game quicker, you should have grabbed the ball. But 1-1 here. Archie Gray. Kusanov. In for Winery. Ethan Winery slots that into Perot, and Perot on his left foot takes the lead for Leeds United, and with 64 minutes gone, we have the lead for the first time in the final here at Old Trafford. And of course, it's Perot and Winery linking up together. A great ball by Winery. Perot did well to take it and get it onto his left foot, slots it into the back of the net, and 2-1 lead here. Trying to find Perot, but Reed is going to be there first. But Perot will win it back. And Perot now into Ethan Winery. And Ethan Winery on the ball. He'll get it onto his favorite foot. The left foot is shot blocked. He'll fall for Perot. Out wide for Ford. Ford now crossing the air. Perot, header, saved by David Raya. He'll fall back for Ford. We'll recycle it a little bit. Callejas now. Into Ford. Ford into Ethan Winery. Into Archie Gray. Into Perot. Perot for his hat trick. Leeds United 3. Inter Milan 1. And with 14 minutes left to go, the Champions League might belong to Leeds United.
Well, here's the goal again, and it's a great ball to put him through.
It's another one-touch football. Great football between Winery, Archie Gray, and Perot. And Perot has his hat trick. Ethan Winery a part of really all three goals if you really want to be a part of it. Maybe not stat sheets wise, but definitely in the play. And Perot's now going to look to reward Ethan Winery. And Ethan Winery for the cherry on top. It's 4. And of course we had to get Winery his goal. 4-1 lead for Leeds United. It looked tough. Inter Milan had the edge in the first half, but we have it here now. A massive result for today. We went Conference League, we won that. We went Europa League the next season, got into the final of that, and unfortunately lost in the final, but got in top 4, so we got Champions League football. We get Champions League football, first season of asking. We get into the final, we defeat all odds, we get past Real Madrid. We now are looking to take down Inter Milan in the final here. Nanto looking to find Perot. Perot's going to go for the spectacular. It's a corner. We're trying to go for a spectacular here as well with Kusanov of all players. And that will be game over. The Champions League belong to Leeds United. The trophy will not have a short way. We can take it on a bus ride 53 miles over from Old Trafford back to the Leeds United camp. We are your Champions League winner. A hat-trick by Perot in the second half here. 56, 64, 77th. And then rewarding Ethan Ranieri, who's been a key factor of this rebuild as well. He gets his goal in the 80th minute after Inter Milan took the lead and held on strong for the first 45. The champions belonged to us, though. We complete the rebuild finally with the Champions League win. So many rebuilds on this channel has been Champions League winless. We start off with the aims of trying to win domestic competitions with the FA Cup in the Carabao Cup. We got close in the Carabao Cup a couple times, losing a final and then losing in the semifinal against Middlesbrough in back-to-back seasons. But the Champions League is always what's going to take the top priority, to take the top spot. We are your Champions League winner in Manchester City alone. Mr. Kusanov is going to go ahead and lift that trophy. And that's going to be it for me today. I will see y'all on Wednesday for another video. Until then, leave a like, subscribe. Please subscribe, and peace out.